Welcome back to another episode of the Tracy Take. Today we are going to be previewing the Week 8 Thursday night football matchup between Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers versus Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Hit that notification bell so you can see when we create new content. Like this video, comment on this video, and let us know who you think is going to win this game. And Ryan, let's get into it. And
Yeah.
I'll start off right off the bat. It's Monday night. Arizona are 6-point favorites with the over/under at 51. And I don't know if that was before or after the news of Devontae Adams being put into COVID protocols. It is not for a sure thing, but it is also unlikely that Devontae Adams will be playing Thursday night.
Yeah, it says on ESPN that he is out as of tonight. So, it's not looking good for his chances to play on Thursday night. But still, Aaron Rodgers back there. They do have some other weapons: Randall Cobb, Amari Rodgers, Alan Lazard, and Robert Tonyan. Still serviceable weapons. However, going up against a really solid Arizona team, that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. Like even as you were saying those names, I'm like, no, like I just don't think even like so the Cardinals defense. So here's like I'll just go straight into it. Cardinals have the number one overall defense and points allowed per game. They have the third best passing defense in the league. Their only real blemish, I would say, is their Week 2 game against the Vikings, where they gave up 33 points. I think it was a combined game of Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen just having a whale of a game. If I remember correctly, Dalvin Cook got hurt in that game, and so he didn't have as big of an impact. But really, outside of that, they took care of the Rams and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. They took care of the 49ers. Now, it was a Trey Lance-led 49ers. They kept Deebo Samuel at check. They dismantled the Browns and that receiving core and the best rushing offense in the entire league. This defense is one of the best in the league and just containing points allowed. They've only allowed 16.3 points per game, and so the things that they are average at, which is like the run defense, that's all they really need to because then their offense is so explosive that they're able to get these leads and then they're able to contain, and so they don't really have to worry too much about the run game to begin with.
Yeah, well, I will say Green Bay cannot get behind in this game. They at least have to keep pace. So that way they can keep this Arizona defense somewhat guessing. But now with Zach Ertz there, Zach Ertz had a touchdown this past week. He seems to be fitting in pretty well. DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green is contributing. Rondale Moore is always a big play threat. It's going to be really tough for the Green Bay Packers. Their defense has been okay so far. I'm not entirely sure on their
Packers defense.
Defensive. Yeah, the Packers defense.
The Packers
haven't played anybody like that I have been too concerned with. They had a really close game against the 49ers on Sunday night, I think. That was a really good game. They gave up 28 points, but 17 to the Lions, 17 to the Steelers, 22 to the Bengals, who just hung up 41 on the Ravens, 14 to the Bears, and then 10 to Washington. None of those offenses to me are extremely lethal except the Bengals.
Yeah, well, I will say this. So they're 8th overall in points allowed in the league, giving up just shy of 21 points per game. So that's only 3 touchdowns. The issue is, though, for normally the normal Green Bay offense that we're used to seeing, they're 17th in overall points per game with only 24 points per game.
And that's with Devontae Adams out there.
And that's with Devontae Adams. And here's the key stat for me right now. So, yeah, they did have the Week 1 game where I think Aaron Rodgers only had 136 passing yards, really low. But since then, though, he has had good, productive passing games. So, yeah, there's one outlier. But still, there's been enough games, I think, to kind of bounce back from that. They're 18th in overall passing, averaging 235 passing yards per game. Devontae Adams is averaging 106.3 yards per game. That's
Yeah.
going to be a huge loss. I don't see where they're going to be able to make up from that. Like I
Hmm.
know Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon is a great running back tandem out of the backfield. There will be a lot of check down passes, but even with Randall Cobb back and Alan Lazard and then Robert Tunyon, I just don't see how they're going to get that same production out
Hmm.
of an Arizona Cardinals team, which has shut down Cooper Kupp, which has shut down Debo Samuel, which beats the Minnesota Vikings. Like
Yeah.
every time they play against some of these top teams, or not just they seem like they do a very good job at shutting down the number one receiver. Um,
Hmm.
and now the Green Bay Packers number one receiver is gone. So
Yeah.
where are they going to make that up? Unless if, like as you said, it's Monday night. It's 72 hours until kickoff in Arizona. Who knows if he'll be able to come back? I'm not sure how the whole protocol thing works, but most likely he's not going to be available to play.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't see how they're going to be able to keep up with this Arizona offense that's averaging 32 points a game.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's a tall task. I mean, Arizona is 6-point favorites. I do expect that to rise as Devontae Adams is not playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still feel like if you have Aaron Rodgers back there, you have a chance. This offensive line has been playing
Mm-hmm.
fairly decent, and they need to keep that up because this Arizona Cardinals team gets after the quarterback. They send blitzes from a lot of different looks. They have really athletic linebackers,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's a tall task. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know. I don't really know how they're going to win. They will probably have to slow the game down, keep that offense off the field, run the ball, quick passes to get past the pass rush. If there is a weakness on this defense, I don't think the corners are elite. I think they are serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's Budda Baker as their safety.
Yeah.
That he's doing really well, but I don't think their corners are elite. So I do think that they can attack someone and create mismatches
Yeah.
in that secondary, uh, and then just being creative. I mean, Matt, that's what Matt LaFleur is there for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I will say, yeah. So if their secondary is a little bit weaker, it helps out that they have one of the better offensive lines, defensive lines, and
mhm.
front seven in the league. Cardinals have 19 sacks on the season so far. I'm just shy of 3 sacks a game. I think the big X factor for me is going to be the Cardinals. Running backs. Cardinals rank fifth overall in rushing yards. Now, some of that it is from Kyler Murray, but you match that up against the Packers' 22nd overall run defense, averaging over 120 yards rushing per game. It fits into that narrative of what we were talking about earlier, where the Cardinals, even if their uh, run defense is a little bit weaker, they're
Mhm.
able to get these big leads or get leads early, and then
It-
they're able to just not play prevent, but able to protect against the pass and
yeah,
protect against these big plays.
yeah. So all in all, I think the Packers have a chance. If I were a betting man, I would pick the Cardinals. So
Yeah,
that's who I'm going with. I'm not totally ruling out the Packers, but
I don't know.
I think there's one path to victory for the Packers, and I think there's about 7 for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's my opinion. I probably will take the spread. I feel like, uh, or like take the Cardinals with the spread.
hmm
But
yeah. I will say one thing. In my last talk about the Cardinals and we all know they're undefeated. They're undefeated, but the games that we know that they should win. Um, they kind of seem to like they
they
show
play to their
up.
competition.
Yeah, they show up and they win. Um, Nothing spectacular. Like
Hmm.
even they blew out the Texans and they played well, but it was just kind of expected. The Jacksonville one is the one that really sticks out to me. The 49ers game is another one. Like they should have blown out the 49ers. It was a division game, but it was Trey Lance leading the way. They only beat them by 7 points.
Hmm.
But against games though where it's big competition, the Tennessee game to start out the season, LA to start, or their division game at LA,
Mhm.
just dominated that game. So the Browns game is another one, just dominate. Um,
Mhm.
this is a big game. There's a lot of playoff implications on this one because both teams are expected to win the division. I
Yeah.
I think that they have a really good shot, and I think that they're going to show up highly prepared and motivated to win this game and go 8-0.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm picking the Cardinals as well. What about the over under? Do you think that they'll go over 51? I'm leaning towards the over.
So the one thing, if you look at the averages of what uh, um, the average, if you combine, if 24 plus 32 is 56 points,
Hmm.
um, and that's just the average of these teams. And both teams have good defenses, so it's going to
Hmm.
be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the under. Um,
See, I was
so
gonna. My final score prediction would be 38-28 for the Cardinals, and I'm going with the over. I just feel like they're going to be higher scoring.
yeah. So that's what the Packers, they have a good pass defense as well. That's one thing that they've actually
Hmm.
won a lot of games on is their defense has been, I'll say, pretty good. Eric Stokes has really come into his role as a rookie cornerback. They have a sixth-ranked passing defense, allowing just over 210 yards of passing offense per game. And we all know now I don't think they played an offense like Arizona's yet. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I think 51 is a really tough one. I mean, I could also see a 30-20 game as well, and that's 50 points. So it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be really close.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. This is, like you said, a big game with a lot of playoff implications. So I'm looking forward to see who comes out on top. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have too much else to add. So do you have anything else?
No, it's going to be a fun
No?
Thursday night game. I don't think there's
Yeah.
been too many bad primetime games. And I don't think this is going to be one either.
No. But all in all, I'm looking forward to it. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Tracy Take. So if you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win this Thursday. And we will talk to you guys next time.